Okay, the glasses are back because I have way too many notes once again, more than usual. But this episode was like jam packed. There's so much that freaking happened. And some of it I low key think I manifested because a lot of like things I've been complaining about, switched up and changed. But so we started with everyone waking up, in the morning. You see Lola and Sean pretty cozy, and she asks him, like, are you happy with me? And he, like, chuckles and is like, yeah. But they're really, really hitting it off. Everything's still going super well with them, and I'm happy to see it. So you have Yaz in the makeup room, and she's like kind of debriefing a couple of the girls, like, yesterday was a lot. I think all of the emotions from, the past week were just kind of catching up with me, and totally understandable. Like, Hayden's not making it easy for her. I hate when one person basically like starts ruining not just one person's experience, but multiple, because they just need all the attention, the toxic attention, let me say. He's very toxic. So anyway, already going in on Aiden, and we just started. That's how it is. So OBS, Kevin, I've been saying Kevin, my bad. It's Kevin. What's his plan? And he wants to talk to Jasmine some more. I think he feels a little more comfortable with Jasmine because she's not really been involved with his brother. And they have some like sexual chemistry, that kind of thing. But George is also saying that he thinks just everybody needs to chill, and just I'm like, everything was chill. They were so chill before you, man. Like, it's not them, it's you. It's a you thing. It's a you problem. But he just doesn't like when he has to take accountability for his actions. He's just not a fan of that one. So that's why people need to chill. Ridiculous, because Mika is telling Robin in the dressing room what George told her, and it is not sound. It's not how it actually played out, and that really messes with Robin. I think she says something like she doesn't want to feel like an idiot, but she's crying. Mika hugs her and stuff, and she's just like, she's fed up. You can tell, just like switch happens. She's tired of being mucked around. But yeah, Yaz was chilling with George and Lorenzo kind of out on the couch, and this kind of would have shocked me if I didn't see unseen bits, but I did see a conversation between Yaz and Lorenzo, and I was like, wait a second, they're getting to know each other? So this is not really something that's been in the normal episodes, but it was an unseen bits, and I was like, okay. So yeah, just a lot of things changed within like the first couple minutes of this episode, and I'm like, huh? Like, I don't take extensive notes, like I haven't been here? Excuse me? So whatever. But yeah, when she gets up to leave the little couch, George makes sure to tell Lorenzo, like, she wasn't sitting here because of me, she's sitting here because of you. And he's like, really? Like, he's just like freaking clueless, but also getting clued in on the fact that Yaz could potentially like him, but they're both pretty aloof, so it takes a second for them to notice. Let's see. Downstairs in the kitchen, you have Kevin, Aiden, and Ope kind of making coffees, and Cav was just like, mentioning that he and Ellie kissed, but he didn't realize like what a big deal kissing was in the villa. I think kind of referring to the conversation that her and Yaz had the night before that Yaz was crying about, and it wasn't how Ellie approached her. She tells her that in their conversation first thing in the morning. She's like, it's not how you talk to me or anything like that. It's just she prides herself on being a girl's girl on the outside, and so she was like a little more disappointed in herself, which is like totally legit. Like I said, I love Yaz. I think she's trying to do the right thing. It's just the wrong thing happens to be Aiden, and God, I have so many thoughts on him. So yeah, Ope was just mumbling, kind of like, what, kissing? Like, I haven't even had a kiss, so it's like, don't think too much about it. But so I can tell, like, the villa, that is the pressure cooker of hormones and emotions, is getting to a couple of the guys, even to my man Samraj. Like, he's starting to be a little bit more forward and less elegant, or less chill, and just I don't know. I have too many notes, guys. Yaz heard Ellie kissing, I guess, in bed with Aiden, and so she was like, ooh, and Lola's like, oh, you have a kiss? And she's like, yeah, we had a kiss. So everybody knows everything's above board. But yeah, the one thing about Ope too is, like, in his unseen bits, in his like little intro by the pool, he had said something about he loves kissing everyone, and I was shocked. I was like, huh? So I haven't been seeing enough of Ope to really catch on to this part of him, but as we find out later in the episode, yeah, he's not as mature as we were thinking, which is a bummer, but he is also a professional actor, so I guess we should have been open to realizing that. Crazy, crazy. Like, there's too much, like I said, too much happened in this episode. Jasmine was telling Priya in the dressing room to go for Lorenzo because he's a nice guy. They're just really different. And yeah, so Yaz and Ellie, they have a conversation outside and just checking in. Ellie's gonna talk to Aiden later, but there's no unfinished business, like he keeps saying. Like, it's just, it's not the vibe. She feels better though, that it's like water under the bridge. She's not gonna forget it, but she is gonna try to move on from it, type of thing. Cab, George, and Lorenzo are chatting by the fire pit, and George says he needs to apologize to Mika again for being a twat, and that's true. And they kind of chuckle and giggle or whatever. Lorenzo says he wants to put the graft in more with Jasmine, which is kind of ironic because she's still on the fence with him. So he's just like, oh, I think I need to go ahead and kick it up a notch, even though he's like, I don't want to not be myself, but I guess he's going to try to put a little more effort in. They ask George who he's feeling more. He says Robin, and they're kind of shocked by that. And it's like, of course they're shocked by that, man. You're not being above board with everything. So if the guys are confused and you're the one that's always like talking with them instead of the girls, then how much more confused do you think the girls are going to be? Because again, you tell Robin to chill and be less emotional, but you're the one that's making her emotional. Then you have a conversation between Ope and Angelista. They go to the terrace, and this is becoming a theme with the guys. Like, when they go to the terrace, they expect a kiss. Here's the thing. Never expect anything, especially physical. These guys are... it's not camp. You guys are actually living together. You know, you're living in the same house. Like, yes, of course, kisses are a big deal. Emotions are more involved than they would like to admit or they want. And it's not a lad's holiday. So just, they need to really check themselves and get back into, like, if you're not a master of yourself, girls aren't going to be attracted to that. Because they're like, great, I have to tame you as well as keep my shit together. Like, I'm just going to be in drama all the time. And no girl has time for that. Like, no woman. I mean, some girls thrive on it, but no woman really wants to be dealing with that. So Angelista is just telling Ope, like, she likes the pace that they're going at, and that she really likes somebody who's not going to push her, but like actually slows things down. Like, she trusts that more. And I think she's learned from guys that are pushy and that really want a whole lot from her right off the bat, is that it doesn't end well and her emotions get involved and then she gets hurt. So she's playing it chill and cool. Like, it's only been a week, which is a long time in Villa terms, but for Ope, he's trying to understand it a little bit, but he also, you can tell, is just anxious about the whole thing. I think he's really wanting to have kissed by now. He says he's never been with somebody who's been this slow moving before, but that he thinks patience might be a good thing for him. And I think he was really just saying that for the camera, because I don't think he wants to be patient, as we find out later. So, but Angelista's like, yeah, you know, I'm like at a 70% out of like 110%, and just if it's physical, then I feel like that really locks it off. So she's like, at this point, it's like, if you want to talk to other people, and I do, it's chill, you know, cool vibes here. So I think she's just been the smartest with her heart, honestly. And I think even though Lola hasn't been moving as slow, I think she also has just been careful and been very honest and zeroed in on Sean, and he's been the same with her. Like, neither one of them really have a wandering eye. They might have chatted to other people, but it's not like, I don't know, these two are really like kind of moving at the same pace, which is good for them. But I can tell Angelista and Ope's, just based off this chat, like their energies really aren't matching up. And she knows, so I'm glad she's staying true to herself. And Ope's like, yeah, I just, you know, as long as we're 100 with each other. And I'm like, ironic you're saying that, because he's not being 100. He is saying what he thinks she wants to hear while he's feeling like the complete opposite. Anyway, Robin chats with George and she grills him, and I'm like, get him, because honestly, he's been getting off a little too easy with the girls because they're like, I don't want to come for you, I don't want to attack you, and I don't want to put you in the middle of things. But it's like, nah, he's the one at the center of this drama that he's created. So put him in the hot seat. And she does. She's like, you know what? Let's get this clear. Like, did you want to kiss me or did you not? Which was it? Like, you tell me. And he's like, I did. I just, thought the timing could have been a little better. And she's like, all right, because you're telling other people different stories to the different sides to the story that make it sound like it was all on me. Not only is that embarrassing, but it's wrong. And that's not how he communicates with Robin. Like, again, he downplays it with other people, but with her, he's just like more full on. So she's noticing the inconsistency and she's pissed off. He's like, I just don't think people are really telling you the whole truth. And she's like, well, I don't think you're telling me the whole truth. So you know what? I'm going to take a step back. And she tells it in her talking head. She's like, you know what? If he wants me, he's going to really have to graft. He's going to really sweep me off my feet because I'm going to be chatting to other boys because, like, she's so fed up. So yay, good on her. I'm really proud of her. Then he didn't really say anything. Like, I don't think he even really apologized, even though Robin said he did. I'm not sure if he did. He just kind of like put his arm around her and chuckled, like, and just groaned and was just like, So I'm just like, okay, sick of him. So Yaz and Aiden chat. He's acting annoyed. Wait, his acting has annoyed her, and what am I saying? I wrote that weird. So when Yaz and Aiden are talking, he's acting annoyed that Yaz and Ellie have been chatting so much. And I'm like, I wonder why. Because they're starting to put the pieces together on his behavior. That's why. So he's just kind of like, well, was she talking about me? Was she saying stuff? And you guys just talking about how a good kisser I am? And he couldn't be more off the mark. I swear, he's trying to put words in people's mouth. He's trying to force his main character storyline on everyone. And I'm like, bruh, do you not just, he was really irking me because he thinks that he can just kind of sway people into saying what he wants. And I'm like, this isn't your family dynamic. Like, these girls have a mind of their own. And like Ellie says later on, she's like, I can be stubborn minded, like you've met your match, honey. So hopefully she sticks with that and she stands 10 toes down and keeps doing that. But he's like cuddling Yaz and trying to get her to tell him what Ellie said. Like I said, he thinks there's unfinished business. He thinks it's mutual. And Yaz is trying to be like, okay, wait, so did you say that or did she say that? And he's like, well, like both. And she's really starting to figure his game out. She even says, she's like, I think he just wants to keep his, plan B, plan C, plan D's. Yeah, he's fluffing about or whatever. And it's true. Like, it's really, really freaking true. He gets annoyed and offended that she's going to be talking to other people. And she's like, well, yeah, you're talking to other people, so why wouldn't I? She's kind of interested in Lorenzo, so she's going to be doing that. But I think it's like he loves the drama, not people. So he is uncomfortable because she knows she has options and she's going to pursue them. And so he's like, oh, sheet. But I think he makes like a giggly ass out of himself when he asks Cav, his brother, and Ellie. They were like walking past him. And he's like, you guys want to have a foursome? And of course the girls are going to try to take that as like, just a talking thing. But the way he's laughing, and it's just like there's this underlying meaning. He's just being really stupid. He's being cheeky and stupid. And you can tell Yaz is kind of like about had enough. She's like, all right, let's go, like rolling her eyes and stuff. Cav and Ellie, they're talking at the fire pit. I think Aiden is really in his brother's head because Cav can't really get past that whole dynamic, and he thinks that Ellie might be just lying about still having feelings. And Ellie's being straight up. She's like, I don't know where he's getting this unfinished business thing. I don't know where he's getting that from. It's not from me. So I don't know. He's not really. She was just telling him that conversation was about disrespect. Like, that's what it was. It's squashed. But she had to address that freaking issue. And yes, she did. Like, I hate this. I hate how she's keeping her cool and she's honestly coming across very well and very mature, except when she's like right next to him. She still kind of lets him touch her and lets him flirt, and I wish she would draw more of a line with that because yeah, he can still kind of manipulate that whole thing. But yeah, she just like, he's waffling on about all that. Mika pulls George and he's like talking about her outfit because she's got a cowboy hat, which like totally brings me back to when he was mentioning the little cowgirl outfit that Robin was wearing like day one or something like that. Again, I think he's just talking about like his fantasies when he's complimenting these girls, which that can go both ways, you know, but still, I'm like, anyway, she, he keeps interrupting her. That's one thing. Like she's trying to say what she's upset about, you know, or whatever. And he says he's sorry. And she's just like upfront with him. She's like, you know what? I'm cooling on you. I'm going to have to see more effort from you, honestly, if I'm going to give this any more of my time. And he starts bringing up like, oh no, like straight up freaking lies to her because he's like, you know, I like our conversations. You know, I think we have a really good chat and stuff, but that's not what he told the boys. He literally told the boys earlier that he was more into Robin because the chats that he has with Mika just like dead air, you know, they just do not last. They do not have any, like, he's not interested. He tells Mika the exact freaking opposite. And that's why I was like, last episode, I'm like, can we get movie night like right now? Because, and we actually kind of do get a mini movie night. That's so crazy. But yeah, he's still lying. And I guess bro code just means enabling each other. Bro code doesn't mean like, oh, hey, you know, we keep each other's private secrets and thoughts like respected and on the down low. Not going to invade our privacy type of thing. I think it's just more about enabling each other's bad behavior. At least that's how they act. They're like, if we're not in cahoots, then we're enemy. And I'm like, I really wish there was more integrity and there was a higher standard, because I feel like Samraj tries to do that. And so does Sean. But yeah, I also don't know if it's not the easiest thing to do in this group of boys, and I should just be fair to everybody. But yeah, I just have a little bit more benefit of the doubt with Samraj and with Sean. Let's see. But yeah, she was just telling George, Mika was telling George, she's like, I don't have like endless chances I give people. I sort of like get icked out. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. And she's like, I know you and Robin have a better connection, so just pursue that. And they hug it out. So I'm like, there we go, cool. So then Ellie and Aiden chat. He leans in like, trying to figure out like the position he keeps taking, because it reminds me of like girls at a sleepover where they're like cuddling. But he also kind of looks like a mermaid. That's like his position he keeps taking. It's so bizarre to me how he just like angles himself as close as he can. Yeah, it's very immature behavior. Just, I'm so sick of seeing him do that. He even does it with his brother. He just does it with everybody. Later on, he's like griping about how Yasmin is like really close to Lorenzo when they're chatting. And it's like, bruh, that's karma. You do the exact same freaking thing. You're just too insecure to see anybody else do and act the same way that you do. So yeah, just hoping. Anyway, so they're talking. Ellie and Aiden, he tries to like talk to her about how was her sleep, like to get more ammunition, you know, with how she is with Cav. And she's like, let's get straight to the point, you know, let's just like, and he's like, oh, okay. She's like, basically, like, the bed wasn't even cold with me, you know, before you were full on with so and so. He takes that so literally, and he's just like, what do you mean the bed? I didn't even get in bed with her, like constantly interrupting her. And she's like, can I freaking speak? Can I finish speaking? No, because he's trying to control the narrative. No, honey, sorry, he can't talk with this one. You can't get a word in edgewise with this one because he wants to maintain control. So there's that. But it's the fact that he never told her. Like, he didn't say and let her know like how full on he was going, and he was being with Yaz. He was playing them both at the same time. And she's like literally probably wondering in the back of her mind, like, was there overlap? Because there kind of was, in my opinion. I think there was. So whatever. Aiden grabs her thigh and says sorry. It's like pretty gross how he's just like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, smack his freaking hand away. Like, don't let him touch you like this. Like, in that aspect, I can kind of see where Cav is coming from, where he doesn't think like it's squashed between them and he doesn't want to necessarily be in the middle of that. I can kind of see where he's coming from, because like, yes, she's taking a stand, but she needs to take even more. Like, she really needs to lock in those armor boots, man. But yeah, Ellie just tells him that it's put her off. And so he's like asking if there's unfinished business, or are we drawing a line under this? She's like, yeah, I think so. And he's like, oh, don't lie. I think you still fancy me. Like, why are you lying? Like, he's delusional. And again, he's trying to project what he wants to be perceived. He wants it to be known that she's coming off as a liar, when it's like he's just not accepting the truth and the consequences of his actions. Like, he doesn't want to do it. So she was like, you know what, we'll always have banter, but you know, he pissed her off. So anyway, Sean tells Lola, now we get to talk about something cute, because I've been craving some cuteness, not just irritation. He was just mentioning what she said in her little recoupling speech, that he was like, in all my relationships that I've been with, none of my partners have even said the stuff that you said. Like, she was really recognizing like all the effort he's put in, and he's just basically like, stick a fork in him. He's done. Like, we can just book it. He's like, I came here and I found what I was looking for. So like, you're weird, you're sweet, you're loyal, like, let's go. And so she's just grinning ear to ear. She's bashful about it, but like, yeah, they're super, super freaking cute. And the way that they kiss is like really, really matched. Like, they have good flow. It's not disgusting. It's not like Yasmin and Aiden, because the way she describes it with her little hand movements, it's more like bumper cars. And I'm like, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Bumper carts. Like, duh. They're just, yeah, their kissing issue is something that goes throughout the episode, and I'm bored of it. So bored of it. But yeah, Lola's really happy. In her little talking head, she's like, I feel like I'm on holiday with my bae. Like, I know other people are having their issues, but I'm happy. And I'm like, oh, girl, okay, I'm happy for you too, but shh, because producers are going to be like, they're going to like F with you. They're going to throw a wrench in things, because they love to do that. And they kind of do, but Sean still holds up. Samraj is chilling with two of the girls, and Priya approaches and is like wanting to take him for a little chat. And he's like, have you come home? Like, joking around like she's a wandering cat, you know, talking with everybody, but she always like comes home. I thought that was kind of cute, but also like, he's pretty confident, you know, he's pretty confident with her. I don't know if she's necessarily, I think, okay, here's the thing, because they go up to the terrace and he's like, oh, this is the Kent terrace, and she's like, not under my watch. And so they're like, oh, it's the Punjabi terrace, so it's the PT, and she likes that a little bit better. But he basically is like, yeah, you can come up here, you have to christen it, you have to kiss. And she's like, I don't think those are the rules. And he's like, oh, well, yeah, you know. Then he starts mentioning about like who he likes to kiss. He like tries to I'm like, he steps up to bat and he strikes. But she just lets him know that she's not really ready to kiss yet. And he is like, yeah, no, we should work at our own pace and everything. And I think he's like, it's like spillover a little bit of frustration maybe that he hasn't kissed Mika yet. And so I'm glad Priya picks up on that, and it's just kind of, not necessarily picks up exactly on that, but she's not feeling the romance. She's not feeling the organic evolution to that point. It's kind of feeling a little bit more forced and a little bit more like rehearsed from him. So she's just like, yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. But the girls want romance, honey. Like, they want a romantic, cute moment that they can tell the girls about, like, swept me off my feet. And the guys are like, we just want to know that you've kissed, and so we can high five. So it's a completely different vibe. Whatever. So then we have a little break in the normalcy, because Lorenzo comes out and announces to everybody that George has left the villa permanently for personal family reasons. And everybody takes a moment and they're like, we love you, George. And they're sad that he's left, sad they didn't get to say goodbye, and the boys are sad too, because they really liked him, but they just hope he's okay. And I do too. I hope George is okay. Am I glad he's not in the show anymore? Hell yes. Not under these circumstances, of course. No, I wouldn't want that for anybody. I really hope like everybody's okay. Like, to be honest, I don't wish ill on anyone. I don't work like that. But I am happy he's gone. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, whoo, I can stop being as Aggie, even though I still am over like Aiden. But it's just, my work here is a little less painful now. So yeah, I just didn't like how he was moving. Still hope he's okay. Hope his family's okay. Those things like that. Like I always hate to hear that. But yeah, so Aiden and Yaz, they kind of chat, and he wants her to tell him how's it going. She's like, why do I have to start? And it's just because I feel like he's more of a reactive person. He wants to react to other people. He doesn't want to have the ball in his court. He doesn't want to lead anything because he's always playing a game. So I don't know. He's annoying me, but he keeps trying this like innocent cutesy act, like mama, and he totally shoots himself in the foot later, which is so funny. Yeah, but they talk about like how she's like, because he had said that she's like his top tier or whatever, and then she's like, you're also like my number one, but I'm also kind of interested in Lorenzo. And he's like, oh, okay, Lorenzo, yeah, he's a good guy. And then they talk about the kissing, how bad it is, and she's like, yeah, we're just not aligning on that. And she's like, you need to sort that out. And he's like, well, why me? And she's like, because it's a you problem. It's not me. I'm not a bad kisser. It's you, bro. And so I really love her standing on business. Again, this is something I was like saying in my last video, and now the girls are doing it. The girls are doing the damn thing. It's so good. Cav and Ellie are catching up. She tells him that she drew a line under it with his brother. And then they both agree that Aiden likes that. He likes the challenge. He likes when somebody says no, which is creepy and desperate. Let's call it like it is. It's not cute. It's not funny. Let's see. She doesn't think it's weird that she's like getting to know his brother. It would be weird if she was playing them both, but she's not. Cav's not convinced. I'm like, I guess, okay, if I were to say I'm convinced, I would say I'm 90% convinced what she's saying is the truth. And I don't blame her. I just think Aiden keeps his claws in her, and she's not slapping his hand away. She's not being mean enough. Maybe because like she's not that kind of person, but with him, you've got to kick it up a notch. If he's really pissed you off, then act more like it, honestly. You know, you don't have to be so friendly with him. Whatever. So yeah, Cav still thinks that they both like each other. It's not just Aiden. And I'm like, he might have a point. Not that I think she's actively pursuing him, but she's not, like I said, shutting it down enough. She's not putting it to rest. It's not RIP'd yet. But Cav joins Aiden and Yaz, and then as they're talking, Lorenzo comes over and pulls Yaz. Aiden, you can tell, is getting a little pissy. He like tries to play big and suggests that they like kiss since his kisses are so bad. And Lorenzo's like, wait, what's going on? And she's like, yeah, he's a shit kisser. And so he's like, oh, maybe he's thinking of somebody else, and or maybe she is. But no, maybe he is. I think Lorenzo nailed it, man. He knows what he's talking about there. Probably because Aiden never shuts up about Ellie. So he's like, But yeah, Aiden gets irritated because he sees that they go up to the terrace, and then they like move. So Aiden goes to the fire pit so that he can see them better. But before that, Cav is just like, shut up, brother. Like, you don't have to worry about the rock. And yeah, he calls him out a little bit for being kind of a baby. I'm going to just start saying that because he is being immature. He's acting like a baby. So, but yeah, I think it's okay, so Lorenzo and Yaz are talking up on the terrace, and they definitely like each other. She likes his good eye contact, and they kind of do gravitate toward each other. And they're both a little surprised that they're like breaking the ice and really talking about that they like each other. She gets a little cozy with him. They kind of both want to know where each other's heads are at. And let's see, he's like, he doesn't really know Yaz. He says, doesn't know her on a deeper level. And then he kind of shocks himself when he says that. He's like, whoa, what am I saying? And she's like, I know, look at you. So I think he's starting to learn a little bit more just by hearing other people talk and act about how he needs to move in the villa and be a little bit more intentional. Let's hope. I don't know. It's not like he's going to change overnight. Not that he even wants to. But yeah, it's she gets really close to him and like cuddling, and they're basically not acting as aloof as they normally do. Aiden sees how she's cuddling him. She's like, what? He's like, why does she have to cuddle everyone? And I'm like, who are you talking to? Like, you need a freaking mirror, man. Like, you're constantly invading people's personal space. Like, you're always all up in their space. Like, you're a freaking cat or something. No offense to cats. I love cats. But it's just like, what are you doing? So he's getting all pissy. And she's like, if he kisses her, like if she kisses him, it's over. Like, I'm done. It's over. Like, he's that wound up. That wound up. So again, I think he's just a baby. He's immature. So that after that, he makes a beeline for Ellie and he wants to pull her for a chat. Ellie's like in the kitchen trying to make food, and she's like, okay, what is this about? And so they go and they talk on the day beds. And he's all close to her. He even like almost kisses her arm, but I guess he's just smelling her. Like, he's like, I told you he's a vampire. He's really gross, really weird. They're talking, and she doesn't really understand why they're talking. Yeah, so he's laying it on thick as usual, but she's like, yeah, why'd you pull me? And he's like, because you've upset me. Wrong. Yasmin has upset him, and now he's acting out. But he's like, you've upset me. Again, playing the victim card once again. Pathetic. And she's just like, you know what, you just want what you can't have. That's your problem. And he's like, you're just resisting, like, quit lying and stuff. Yeah, when she tries to tell him that she's actually interested in his brother because he's fit, she had earlier said that he was ambitious, and she's ambitious, so she likes that. And that he's got a more mature mindset than Aiden. And Aiden's just trying to, he's not trying to hear any of that. He's just like, whatever. He calls her boring, and he tells her to listen, which is, again, disrespectful. Just the way he is in general is disrespectful. So I wish that Ellie would recognize the fact that this sexual chemistry that they could have is the only toxic, thing that they have in common. Whatever. So Ellie says, there's no point in grafting her, that there's just no point to it, honestly. Like, he needs to save his energy. And in his little talking head, he's like, yeah, she does have her guard up with me, which is totally understandable, but it's not just her guard. Like, she's really shutting the freaking door on him. She's like, back up, leave me alone. I'm done. I'm over it. And she rushes off. She's like, can I go, like, to the kitchen now? Like, I'm hungry. I wanted to eat. Like, you pulled me over for this, like, trash conversation. So, and he's like, yeah, I thought that would have gone better. And she's like, good luck with that. So I'm loving her energy. She's great. Give me some of that. Like, I don't have as much energy today as I normally do, but it's just because it's such a loaded episode and we still have a lot of pages to get through. It's fine. We're doing this, guys. Lorenzo and and it was cute because Ope and Robin definitely noticed how quick Ellie bolted out of that conversation. Just like, I'm good. I'm like really getting sick of this shit. So I thought that was really funny. Lorenzo and Jasmine, they're catching up. It's like flirty. She says he's got a lot of attention coming toward him, from all these baddies. And is he getting any closer to knowing his love language? And, they're just being cutesy and complimenting each other. She's like, yeah, you look really good from the back. He starts laughing. He's like, yeah, you too. So again, they have like cute banter, but again, they're just not that compatible. But they still are having a moment, which I thought was cute. And like, he's really coming out of his shell, They're proud of his growth, even though I don't necessarily think it's promising. It's still nice to see, So Robin chats with Cav, and it's really flirty. He immediately says that they have sexual chemistry. I'm not blaming Robin, but I do think she leans heavily on that attribute of hers. It's a powerful one. Let's say it is, because Aiden's using it, and it's definitely freaking fluffing up the experiences of the other girls. But now I'm starting to think like, okay, Robin, you might be a little bit more to blame in that whole dynamic with George, because you don't need to lean so heavily on that if you don't want guys to focus on that. You really have to determine how people treat you. And I'm not saying that's always the case when people are treating you crappy, but she could do a little bit more of taking responsibility of how she is putting herself out there in a less sexual way so that guys are forced to not focus on that, but to like dive into the other dynamic aspects of her, because of obviously she's a catch, obviously she's great, and that's what she tells Cav she really likes to hear and see when people are into her. And so he like just says that too, and she starts giggling and laughing. And then she asks like, can he handle a Scouse girl? And he's like, you know what? I don't know. I've never been with one. And she was like, have you been to Liverpool? And he's like, yeah. And it was a lot. And she was like, yeah, I'm a DJ. And the things that I see, woof. And he was like, what? You're a DJ? And yeah, they flirt a little bit more about that. And he's impressed with that. Then we have Jazz. She walks up to Cav. Sean and Lola are sitting next to him. And they're like, oh, are you guys going to stay here? Or do you want us to leave? And he's like, yeah, you guys can leave. And so by the time she gets to them... so cute. Lola and Sean are just like, oh yeah, we're gonna get up, we're gonna leave, okay, and they like bolt out. It's really cute. I was like, bravo, beautiful performance. Like they're definitely acting like the wingman couple, and it's so freaking cute. I love it. But yeah, Jazz like gets all cozy with Cav, and okay, I'm cruising through my notes a little bit better. I just like, oh, there's so many notes. They have good chemistry. He repeats what he says to Robin, like what he had just said to Robin moments ago from the edit. But he's like, yeah, we do have this good sexual chemistry. And she's like, yeah, your eye contact is deadly. Like, it's crazy. And she's like, and I'm a good girl. Like, I behave. When I see your eyes, I'm like, and so she kind of like runs and gets bashful because it's intense. Like, he honestly needs to dial it back a little. Like, bro, if you have powers, learn how to harness them, okay? Think about, like, you know, the X-Men, like Rogue. She has gloves because she knows. And what's his name has, like, the... I wanted to say Peaky Blinders, but that's not what they are. Like, the laser protector lens, you know? It's just like, when you have powers, you have responsibility. And he's just like, let it ride. He's acting a little bit more like his brother the more and more I see him play out, but we'll see. They really do have like a good banter and a good flow of conversation. It's flirty, it's fun. They miss talking to each other. Yeah, he even asks her, he's like, were you mad that I chose Ellie? And she's like, no, like I saw you guys kiss, so like I hear it, like I understand. And she's just not gonna be like, again, she's not gonna be crashing out, which is how Aiden likes to see women, and maybe his brother does too, because that shows they care. And that's so fucking toxic. Like, it's really toxic, but they might be similar in that way. So yeah, Cav says he might fancy her the most. He really likes her Tomb Raider appearance. Like, she's, I guess, like kicking off a fantasy of his, and so he's like, that's deadly for me. And she's talking about like how she really wants something real after this experience, somebody like that she can travel with and have sex with all over the world. And I'm like, that's cute. Again, we're leaning heavily on that aspect though. All right, so Aiden's talking to Yaz. He wants to know more about her exes, which is, again, a weird question, just how he goes about it. He wants more ammo, in my opinion. I think he wants more angles so that he can kind of, because when people ask about their exes, it's like they want to know basically just kind of like a playbook, a play from a playbook of like, okay, what didn't work and what did work, and how can I kind of use that for my benefit? That's why I think he's asking. I don't think it's coming from a genuine place. Not that I don't think he can be a genuine person. I'm just not seeing it when he's interacting with these girls. But he looks away while she's answering, like he's bored. That's how I'm like putting that together. It's not just out of nowhere. I'm just like, I don't even think he cares. He's like, she's like, it fizzled out, and he's like, oh wait, why? Because the kissing was bad? And they start laughing or whatever, and he's like, no, but seriously, you know, like, you must have done something, like something must have happened. And I'm like, what are you trying to say, bro? Like, do you even like women? Are you just blaming women for everything? Is that what's happening? Are you secretly a woman hater, Loki? I don't know what that was. But she was like, well, he cheated on me. And she's like, there we go, Ellie. He calls her Ellie, and Mika's real nearby with the other girls, like chatting, so they all hear it too, and he like runs away in embarrassment, and she like runs off too, and she's like, oh. And they're like, are you pissed? And she's like, no, I'm not pissed. In her talking head, she's like, oh yeah, I'm pissed. Like, those names don't even sound the same. Like, how are you going to say her name unless she's on the forefront of her mind? So his unfinished business is definitely like all him, all him, all him. And then they get a text that there's going to be a cocktail night and to get ready. Everyone jumps in boogies, but it's a trap. Y'all, it's a trap. You should know when they want to get you all excited, something's going to happen. So they're all getting ready. Yaz debriefs the girls about what happened, and she's just like basically kind of taking a step back. You know, she's not sure what to think because that was not, she knows, she's like, mistakes happen, but sucks, kind of sucks. And then I see Aiden, he like twirls Ellie as she's like gotten ready for the night. He like twirls her when they're all hanging out in the bathroom, and I'm like, y'all, see, this is what I'm saying, Ellie, like, you've shut the door, but you've left it cracked, and that's all he needs is a more freaking crack to pour his hot steaming pile of shit through and get you all grubby again. I don't know where that came from, but he's just pissing me off. We're at 40 minutes. I told you there's a lot of notes. I've still got 2 pages to get through. Hang in there with me, guys. Lorenzo tells the boys that Jazz likes when men are obsessed with, like, obsessing over her, but he thinks because he hasn't been doing that she is, you know, liking him even more. And I'm like, maybe, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna last, especially with what follows. But then Robin spits some bars and she's like talking about more cocktails tonight, which means like more cock tonight, which I thought was kind of funny. She did have a good beat going. That was cute. The girls are like, oh. So then the girls come out to the villa and they see all these beautiful cocktails. Like you see martini glasses with like this pink drink, and then you see, I don't even know what that glass is called, but it's like a cylinder with a stem and it's got blue drink in there. And I'm like, oh, double drinks for the girls. But they get this text. No, they don't get the text yet because the boys are hanging back in the bathroom and they're the ones that get the text first. And it's like, hey, come meet us, bombshells at the pub, sneak out the front. Samraj is like, man, I feel bad. The girls are all waiting for us out there. They, you know, they've gotten ready. They're excited. They're like waiting for us, literally. And then freaking Aiden, of course, he's like, I don't want to go back in there. They both hate me. I don't want to deal with that tonight. And so everybody has like, you know, their 2 cents to chip in. Ope is excited out of his freaking mind. He's like, let's not lose our heads. That doesn't last. He is way too excited. Sean is hesitant. He's like, I'm only going if I'm a wingman. Let's just make that clear. I'm a wingman. And I really love that because they all kind of want to put Sam forward and give him a really proper shot so that he can get out of a friendship couple. So Samraj and Sean are like on the same page with that. And the rest of the guys pretty much are too. But they all run out. And Ope's first. And they're just like, whoo, they bolt out of there. Then the girls get a text and they're like, bad news, you've been stood up. The boys are going to meet 2 new bombshells. And they're like, are you serious? And then it's like, okay, good news. You get to watch. So they get a mini movie night, like a live, real-time video of how the boys are behaving. This is exactly what the girls needed because a lot of them are already emotionally super loyal, even though they don't need to be. They shouldn't be. They're just trying to be, you know, decent. With most of these guys, you don't need to worry about that. Like, I mean, sure, for your own integrity, but any loyalty toward them, they quickly realize when they're watching that that might not need to be the case. So the girls get in front of, like, they're on the other side of the pool watching the screen and they're getting cozy and they start watching, and it opens up with a guy sitting down on these couches and kind of like this, I don't know, this outside nice area. And Samraj is like feeling bad for the girls and Ope's like, no you don't. And it's like, that pissed me off because he's just projecting, and the girls didn't like that either. They're like, really? We're about to see a whole nother side to these guys, aren't we? And yep, Ope does not get any better. Spoiler alert, he just gets worse. So Mika and Angelista are pretty icked out by that. Lorenzo says, it's a group decision. No one's to blame. It's like they're all trying to keep their story straight. Like, hey guys, remember what we agreed on? Like, nobody's going to get, you know, freaking crucified because we all decided together. It's like, I don't understand how they don't remember that they're still on camera. Like, especially Ope. Like, that's your profession, right? That's why you were doing so well in front of the cameras. Like, you were a good actor. Man, does that mask fall. It freaking melts off and falls off and just gets kicked away like miles away. He really, really drops the mask. It sucks. I hated seeing that. Okay. So, they go around and they ask everybody like who are they with and what do they think of their couples. Semraj is like, you know, hey, I'm with let's see. Yeah, Semraj is like who he's with. Wait, I mixed up these notes. Anyway, Fitzy says like he's not locked up, but it would take a lot. So that's a big, big statement. I love that he says that. Sam is encouraged by the boys. He's really excited. Ope is like sweating. He tells the guys like, hey, I have a wandering eye, like, and he's all giddy. And the girls are screaming in shock. They're just like, what? And they asked if he's probably going to kiss the new girl. And he's like, yeah, probably. Like, I can't trust myself. And Angelista is just like, has he lost his head? Like, she's just like mortified. Cannot believe what she is seeing, but is also taking it and just processing it. And it just gets worse and worse. Because he says that everybody thinks he's emotionally mature when he's not. Like, mockingly, like, just like, oh, everybody believed his act. Whoops. Whoopsie, it wasn't real. Like, Ope, you're killing me, bro. I cannot believe this, honestly. It kind of hurts my heart that he's like this. Like, he's so sneaky. Like, he's just as bad as Aiden. He just hasn't had as many opportunities to be this way. So that's what I'm seeing. It's like he jumped off the cliff of logic is what I wrote. He's worse than my doodle when my Chorky is in heat. Like, just cannot. Yeah, pressure cooker of the hormones, I guess. Like, he's really bubbling over, and I'm like, yeah, icky, gross. I'm like, not one of the girls is going to be happy to see him when he gets back just because of how he's acting. And I'm like, was this your plan, man, to ruin all your friendships? Like, do you not understand? Like, I guess they thought it was going to be under wraps, you know, and it was going to be, or they were going to be able to explain it all away. But, like, they didn't know that the girls were going to be watching them in real time. But you still got to know, man, the show could do anything. The show could pull anything. And I think that's why a couple of them are actually a little bit better, more reserved. But not him. There's no railing that one back in. But I just think he's shooting himself in the foot. Okay, so Opie says Lorenzo can barely handle two girls. So, and then Lorenzo doesn't look good when he says this. He's like, hey, if they all want me, okay, there's space for, you know, more in the garage. And that icks out Jasmine. She's like, I'm over it. Drop me out. Like, she's good. She's like, you know, I was already on the fence. So, like, I'm just going to finish hopping over. I'm done. I'm good. Like, y'all can have him. So that's pretty final. That's pretty crazy. So, yeah. Goodbye, Opie. And goodbye, Lorenzo. And Semraj, he's holding it together still. He was like, you know what? I don't need one more. I like Mika and I like Priya. So he's like, I'm just excited for Sam. I'm like, there we go. There we go. So then we have the bombshells, guys. All right, this is the last bit of this episode. Olivia walks in. She's in a white dress. I think she's from Leeds. Is that a place? She gets what she wants. She steps on toes. I didn't catch her age. And she's like wearing this like white dress. Her accent is a little thick. It's a little hard for me to understand. So hopefully I will be able to understand her as it goes on and I get used to that. Then you have Victoria. She's Irish. She's wearing a brown dress. She says she's the full package. No one's safe. She's going to steal their men. Yeah, so they come in and Victoria sits right by Semraj. Olivia sits in between Sam and Lorenzo. So, like, they're both on each end. And then they go through the guys and just, you know, ask them to, like, kind of explain their relationships and all of that. And Semraj is like, he's with Priya after, you know, getting to know Mika, but it's still early days. So he's open. And I'm like, that's fine. They're gorgeous girls. I totally get that. They're beautiful. But, like, I'm sad for Mika. I combined their names. Priya and Mika. I'm sad for these girls because they were really liking Semraj. They really were. And he had a good thing going. And I'm like, bro. Opie is just too excited. Like, his head's gone. And he even says that. His head's gone. So, like, the girls are just like, okay. Like, they're all done with him. Like, I swear. Aiden said he's obviously open because he's a hound dog. Just, what are you going to do? And the girls are like, just take a day off, man. Like, you're such a ham and cheese melt. And ironically, he says that he is in a sandwich in between Yasmin and Ellie, and they're like in shock. They're like, "Which sandwich? Excuse you? Huh? What? Which video?" Again, you're like just all in his freaking Wizard of Oz. You know, you're just guests in his psychic or psycho play. I don't even know. I've lost my words today. I need another coffee after this episode. It's been a lot. So Sean is a good man. He's like, I'm with Lola. Next. Move on. Talk to Sam. I was like, yes. And Lola's just like, bet. And everybody's like, oh. So they're rocking. They're the strongest in the villa. Very happy. Very proud of these two. So happy for them. Sam's like, hey, I'm in a friendship couple, so I'm happy to meet these two new lovely bombshells. And the boys are like gassing him up and cheering him, like, yeah, good speech. And I'm like, he didn't say a lot, but it's okay. Like, he's just getting warmed up. And then you have Lorenzo, and he says he's with Jazz. He's getting to know Yaz and Priya, so it sounds like his plate is full. And Cav says he's with Ellie, but he's been doing the rounds, which is not like the best thing to say to new girls. And his brother jumps in on that. Like Aiden's like, yeah, so in other words, stay away from him. And I'm like, this older brother syndrome or older sibling syndrome that he has, where he's got to knock his younger brother down to make himself look better, is not cute. But not surprised. And so the boys ask the bombshells like what their type is, and Victoria, she likes to travel, so her type can vary, but she really likes, either one extreme or the other on personality. She likes someone that's super quiet or super loud. So whatever. Olivia, same thing. She likes personality, not really a type. She is interested in Sam, Lorenzo, and Samraj. Victoria is interested in Samraj, OP, and Sam, I think. Got that right? So Jasmine's completely over it. She's like, we're done. Mika is having this like nervous smile. She's like, for fuck's sake, like she's never gonna have a thing with Samraj at this rate, And then Olivia tells her job. She works for the council. Victoria is a model part-time and she's a model and then a part-time PA. So then they are like, okay, Olivia's like, should we wrap this up, guys? And they're like, wait, what's next? And she's like, well, I think we should have some one-on-one time, Lorenzo. So Olivia and Lorenzo are going to have some one-on-one. Victoria picks Samraj to have one-on-one. The girls are shocked. It's the end of the episode. Final thoughts. That was jam-packed. I think the producers really served it up. It was intense. It was like a lot to actually review because I do more of like a recap and a breakdown. Like it's a freaking college class. Like we're gonna go an hour and a half on this one, guys. Like make sure you have your pens ready. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, but if you guys want like a shorter, more consolidated type of review, I would definitely check out Queen E. Queen E is the master. Like she is the GOAT. In my opinion, I really like her reviews, but she does UK and USA. I can't even keep up with USA. Like I ain't even started that one. I've been watching it, having the time to review it. Whew, I'm gonna have to catch up for sure. But yeah, I think Robin basically doesn't have to compare herself to anybody else anyways, but for most of the gals, they're feeling like they're kind of back to square one. So she's no longer alone in that department. Like they can all bond now over like these guys are crap. And yeah, I'm just interested to see what's gonna happen next, how that's all gonna play out. If Samraj is gonna hit it off with Victoria, we'll see. Like everybody wants a piece of Lorenzo and he ain't mad about it. Jasmine's over it. So yeah, I'm gonna end it there, guys. Wow, that was tiring. I'm sorry if I didn't have as much energy on this one. I just needed to get through it, get her done, and we're at 53 minutes. How about that? It is what it is. It is what it is. I just can't. I'm a writer. I love to write. I'm writing my own stuff, like books, music, I have to get it out. And so like, yeah, when it comes down to writing these notes, like it's a play-by-play. I do apologize, but thank you for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have your own opinions on it too. And even if you disagree with me, just like put it in the comments. If I got something wrong, correct me. No hard feelings. I'm like brand new to this and trying to be more professional as we go on. So yeah, thanks for coming along, and I hope I see you next time for episode 8. All right, peace. Bye.